Hey, hi, hello, friends. Okay, I tried this earlier like 4 or 5 times and it just wasn't working out. So I am actually going to read, fingers crossed, the 61st Siddhi of Sanctity from the Gene Keys. Entering the unknowable. Let's see. Okay, making sure I don't have my earphones around my neck with my Bluetooth connected, and I'm pretty sure I don't. In arriving at the 61st Siddhi, we approach a great mystery, the mystery of life itself. The manifestations of inspiration are unimportant to the one who is truly inspired. These manifestations are simply the myriad of colors of the experience itself, and as such, are wonderful to those outsiders who are witnessing the process. Sooner or later, however, inspiration comes to an end. And I think that's because inspiration no longer comes in bursts, like it just becomes your being. As you enter the field of the 61st Siddhi, a huge pregnant silence descends, and all your mental activity abruptly ceases. Here, inner truth resides. I've experienced that, I swear. For me, it was like the space in between all the sounds. And it was infinite and it was abundant, and there was just, again, like that, the infinite is the word to put there, right? There was an infinite amount of energy to pull from, an infinite amount of life force, an infinite amount of sustenance, of abundance. Like it was all there, intangible but perfectly within reach. The 61st Siddhi is neither a place nor a state. It is the inner experience of sanctity, of being one with the divine. Within this Siddhi, true reality dawns. The pressure that creates humanity's mass psychosis is no longer rooted directly into the human brain, but is refused and rerouted through the solar plexus system, which houses a far more advanced system of awareness. I'm not going to fight the birds for my chance to speak. I might be fighting the birds to speak. Okay. So the 61st Siddhi of Sanctity, right? It's an inner experience of sanctity, of being one with the divine. Within this Siddhi, true reality dawns. Oh, right. I was just saying this. The pressure that creates humanity's mass psychosis is routed, instead of to the brain, it's routed to the solar plexus. Okay, this creates pressure. The pressure that creates humanity's mass psychosis must go somewhere. Whenever it's rerouted from the brain to the solar plexus, a huge amount of energy is created and it must go somewhere. Through the medium of the solar plexus center, it goes everywhere. It is through the constantly vibrating wave frequencies emerging from the solar plexus that awareness is carried beyond the body into every corner of the universe. You immediately find yourself both completely empty and yet endlessly full. Yeah. The experience of sanctity is paradoxically an experience with no experiencer. It is one of the greatest mysteries of evolution. A human being in whom the 61st Siddhi is being revealed is nothing but a human vehicle manifesting pure universal awareness. A little fish outside just went. This state of sanctity is the underlying nature of reality, and until you come to rest within it, you are always asleep. So only when you rest in this state of sanctity do you actually wake up. I guess almost like waking up inside of a lucid dream. You know, lucid dreaming, life starts to feel like that from time to time. I've got so much underlined in so many different colors, that's why I keep losing my place. Or 2 different shades of blue. No, that's like more cat, less bird. Okay. Okay. You immediately find yourself both completely empty and yet endlessly full. A human being in whom the 61st Siddhi is being revealed is nothing but a human vehicle manifesting pure universal awareness. This state of sanctity is the underlying nature of reality, and until you come to rest within it, you are always asleep. Okay, so the people who do wake up, for those of us outside of this realization, one of these awakened people seems to be like a god. They ripple with divinity, and we refer to them as being holy. These are the people who we, in our psychosis, deify and worship. Right? We see them as our gods, our idols. We do so to our detriment, because the whole point of such a presence among us is to demonstrate the fact of every human being's inner divinity. Like that. They are just there to help you wake up to the fact that you are also God. We are all a part of that mass universal consciousness. Okay. Okay, sorry. The being within the 61st Siddhi no longer knows any difference between you and him or her. Like everyone, like, you are me, as I am he, as he is we, and we are all together. However it goes. It makes sense. And it doesn't really make sense until it does. And when it does, it no longer doesn't make sense. It's like once you see every single person in your life as just another reflection of you, it's very difficult to go back and see them as separate. And it's like the ego that keeps us there. And individuality is important so that, you know, because we each have our own individual roles to play, but those individual roles are just the gears turning for the whole mass production. That is the universe. Okay, so as I said, the being within the 61st Siddhi no longer knows any difference between you and him or her. Such a person cannot help you in any way. They simply serve as a mirror for your own inherent divinity. However, to remain with that mirror frequently leads to worship of the mirror, which prevents your own realization. You have to make sure not to worship the mirror. You have to make sure not to worship the people in your life, Because as soon as you worship them, again, you're putting them on a pedestal. You're seeing them as separate than yourself. You are immediately creating like a severance right there, saying that you can't do or be what they are because you're not them, but you are, and you're just as capable. And the only thing stopping you is the belief. The 61st Siddhi is about living life without answers. It is about simply becoming the mystery of who you are. If there is a Siddhi that negates all words, descriptions, and answers, it is this one. You simply must come to realize that you know absolutely nothing, and this profound revelation can only occur in its own way and at its own time. For humanity in its current phase of evolution, the 61st Siddhi can only cause infuriation. It is better we forget all about it and bring our focus to the gifts level of inspiration, where our mind at least has something to grasp and something to aim for. That's why it's so important to have a creative outlet. The vehicles we currently inhabit are extremely limited in terms of their awareness operating system, which favors the development of the mind. Therefore, we must respect the phase of evolution through which we are passing and enjoy what lies before us. The 61st Siddhi is really a matter of luck at this stage. If the vehicle you are sitting in happens to mutate, then you're in luck. You are in luck if it happens to mutate, but again, just be aware that you do continue to go on living in a world of people who don't have that same understanding. And because they don't have that same understanding that you have of the interconnectedness of everything and the fact that we are all one in the same, there's no point trying to explain it to people who don't believe it, or who can't understand it, who can't comprehend it, because it's something that has to be embodied. Which is what I understand the Siddhi to be, is the full embodiment of these states. It's not something you can search or seek out. And maybe if you hear it enough times, one day it just clicks. But again, even that is like the mutation that happens in your DNA in order for your body to come to the full understanding and comprehension of what it means to be one with the everything. Okay, that is the 61st Siddhi of the Gene Keys, the Siddhi of Sanctity. Thank you.